Even if you're brand new to web design, you have probably heard of the term AJAX. AJAX stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML, and is the term that best describes the loose confederation of XML, JavaScript, CSS, dynamic HTML, and XHTML that is currently transforming the web experience. If that alphabet soup sounds intimidating, don't worry. Standardized AJAX libraries like Prototype and jQuery have emerged to make the process of creating these types of pages easier. Adobe has its own AJAX library called Spry. Spry is a set of CSS and JavaScript files that make building interactive applications easier. To make utilizing Spry accessible to all designers, Adobe has integrated many Spry-based tools directly into Dreamweaver. When using Spry objects like Spry form validation widgets and the Spry tooltip widget, Dreamweaver will add all the necessary code to your page and copy over any necessary external CSS and JavaScript files to your site. So just as a way of looking at what we're going to be doing with Spry in just a moment, I have the gallery.html file open. I want to go up and show you where to find your Spry objects within Dreamweaver. If you look at the Insert panel and click on the Spry tab, you're going to see the following list of icons. Now, these are broken up into 3 sections. The first section deals with Spry data and getting HTML and XML data onto the page. The second section deals with form validation, and it can make creating interactive forms a snap. The last section are our Spry widgets. You'll notice we have menu bars, tabbed panels, the tooltips that we're going to be using. The Spry widgets are basically user interface objects that allow you to show data in a pretty unique and interesting way. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to turn live view on, and then I'm just going to scroll down to our photo gallery. And again, if I hover over one of these more links, you'll notice that I get a little bit of information about that photo. I can get the caption and the quote from the actual photographer that explains where the shot was taken, that sort of thing. Well, this is the Spry tooltip widget, and it's remarkably easy to use. I want to show you a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes when you add a Spry widget to your page. I'm going to turn live view off, and I'm going to switch to code view. The Spry widgets themselves are extremely unobtrusive. You'll notice if I move up to the top of the page in code view, I have a single link to an external JavaScript file that contains all the JavaScript necessary for the functionality of my tooltip widget. Compare that to the behavior that adds the JavaScript code directly to the head of your document. This is a little cleaner and a little bit more standards compliant. Now, if I scroll a little bit further down the page towards the bottom, you can see right here I'm initializing all of those Spry tooltip widgets. Now, could you do this by hand? Absolutely. If you feel like hand coding these, you can all day long. But through the use of the Insert panel and Dreamweaver's design view, you can do all of that without writing any code yourself. Now, I want to point out one more thing about using Spry widgets that's incredibly important. If I look over at my Files panel, I can see I have a folder right here called Spry Assets. When I open that up, here are all the external files, JavaScript files, CSS, that go into the functionality and the presentation of my widgets. Now, when I go to upload my site, that Spry Assets folder needs to be uploaded as well. It's also a folder that you don't really want to move around a lot. All the files in your site that use your Spry widgets are going to be linking into that folder. So if you move it, number one, make sure you update everything. But number two, make sure you don't move it a lot, because if that link is severed, your widgets will no longer work. Dreamweaver's Spry integration helps put complex AJAX interactivity in the hands of all designers. Using Spry objects and widgets is a great way to introduce yourself to working within larger AJAX frameworks. The Spry CSS and JavaScript is entirely customizable, so as you get more comfortable with how those technologies work, you'll begin finding ways to customize them and make them your own.